Please, I beg you, I am innocent. Have mercy, don't do this. Please, no.
In the quiet town of Bradford, England, lived a man named Joseph Walker, a factory cleaner who worked night shifts and prayed morning prayers with tired eyes and empty pockets. For more than 10 years, Joseph and his wife begged God for one thing: a child. Doctors said it wouldn't happen. Friends stopped asking. Some even joked that God had skipped their address. But Joseph never stopped praying. Every Sunday, he sat in the same church seat, whispering the same request: "Lord, before I leave this world, let me hold my son." When Joseph was already 42, the miracle came. His wife gave birth to a baby boy. Joseph collapsed in the hospital hallway and cried like a child himself. He named the boy Daniel, meaning "God is my judge." From that day, Joseph raised Daniel with one rule: never steal, never lie, never hurt others, even if it costs you everything. Daniel grew up kind, quiet, and disciplined. He avoided trouble. He worked part-time while studying accounting at a local college. People trusted him. Too much. When Daniel was 22, he got an internship at a logistics company handling small financial records. That's when the enemies noticed him. Senior staff were moving money illegally, and Daniel accidentally saw numbers that didn't match. When he refused to sign false documents, they smiled at him and planned his destruction. Within weeks, company funds went missing, and Daniel's name was suddenly everywhere. Emails were altered, transactions were changed, witnesses were coached. One Monday morning, police arrived at Joseph's house. Neighbors watched as Daniel was handcuffed. Joseph ran after the car barefoot, screaming his son's name until his voice broke. The trial was fast, too fast. Daniel couldn't afford a strong lawyer. The company hired the best. Evidence looked clear. The judge said, "I have no choice." Daniel was sentenced to 12 years in a high-security prison. Joseph collapsed in the courtroom. From that day, his life ended, but his breathing continued.
Joseph cried every day. He cried in church. He cried on buses. He cried alone in his room, talking to a God who felt silent. Doctors warned him that the pressure and constant tears were damaging his eyes. He didn't care. He said, "If my eyes stop working, let my prayers keep working." Within 3 years, Joseph went completely blind. Still, every week, he asked strangers to guide him to the bus station so he could travel hours just to sit outside the prison walls and pray near his son. Inside prison, Daniel entered hell. Older inmates beat him for refusing to join gangs. Guards punished him because his case was high profile. Food was withheld. Solitary confinement became normal. One night, Daniel was beaten so badly he couldn't stand. He lay on the floor, whispering, "God, don't let my father die thinking I'm a criminal." Years passed. Letters from Joseph came less often, not because he stopped writing, but because he could no longer see the paper. He sent voice messages instead, always ending with the same words: "I'm still here. I'm still praying." Joseph's health failed. His body grew weak, but his hope stayed stubborn. Social workers told him to prepare for death. He replied, "I will not die in sadness. I will wait." Meanwhile, outside, greed started eating itself. One of the men who framed Daniel was arrested for fraud years later. Facing a long sentence, he broke. He confessed everything. Names were given, records reopened. A journalist picked up the story. Public pressure grew. Lawyers stepped in. The truth, buried for years, finally screamed. One cold Friday morning, Daniel was called from his cell. He expected punishment. Instead, a guard said, "Pack your things." Hours later, the conviction was overturned. Daniel walked out of prison with nothing but scars and time stolen from his life. He went straight to Bradford. When Daniel entered the small care home, Joseph was sitting by the window, eyes white and empty. Daniel knelt and held his hands. Joseph touched his face slowly, memorizing what he could not see. He smiled and said, I knew God wouldn't lie to me. They cried together, not loudly, but deeply. The enemies were arrested, prosecuted, and sentenced. Justice arrived late, but it arrived. 3 months later, Joseph died peacefully in his sleep. No pain, no fear, only fulfillment. Daniel buried his father with shaking hands and a broken heart, but also with purpose. He started again, slowly, from nothing. This time with wisdom, this time with faith stronger than anger. Moral lesson. Sometimes life punishes the innocent and rewards the wicked for a while. But lies get tired, truth waits, and faith sees what eyes cannot. If this story touched you, someone else needs it too. Like, subscribe, and share, because hope grows when stories like this are told.